Hey everybody, this is Jamie the FMA Chef, and I'm here for the culturalarts.org, and this is Jamie's Kitchen. So what we have here today, I'm going to cook something very simple. When I grew up, I was a latchkey kid. My mom was working a lot, so I had to cook a lot when I was a kid. And I was thinking about what kind of food is simple that you could buy at your local grocery store, that's not fancy, that any teenager could probably make easily, and it has to be nutritious. Obviously, we have many different kinds of way we can eat, but in my experience with health, I've had to go green, go pure. When I think of food, I want to think about simplicity. When I look at ingredients, I want to see the least amount of ingredients are. Like here we have flaxseed oil. And in the ingredients here we got organic flaxseed oil and organic flaxseed particulate. There's no other names in here that I can't understand. And that's where I usually gauge my choices of food. The more simple, the better. You want to go green, organic, whatever you decide you want to do. It's your choice, but this is what we're going to do today. So today we're going to use sweet potato. You can also use yams and spinach. Go green. Always, anytime you're thinking of eating healthy, the best is probably to go to green, because you can get almost anything that you need, whether it's it's a animal-based or plant-based. You can still get the proteins and all the good nutritional things that you need. With spinach, we have, it's an excellent source of fiber, vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin C, folate, magnesium, B12, riboflavin, potassium, iron, calcium, vitamin E. And with your delicious sweet potatoes here, they are highly nutritious with fiber, with lots of vitamins and minerals. We have great for gut health, antioxidants. It's a cancer fighter. It helps support vision. Unfortunately, it's not working for me. Brain function and for your immune system, they're great. What I want to do today, I'm going to make it very simple. We're going to start out with our sweet potatoes. Now, with our sweet potatoes, we're going to cook them in an air fryer. I have found this is one of my most favorite things to use now. It's a $25 air fryer. Very simple. What do you see this? This changed everything, I have to say. So we're going to use this for our sweet potatoes, and we're going to cook up our spinach in our cast iron skillet here. So let's get started. Like I was saying, as an FMA chef, I love using knives. So I'm going to go over a quick, easy way to cut. So here, I'm just going to cut these in half, and I'm going to cut the half and another half. I like to leave the skin on, so a lot of nutrition is in the skin. Then there's little parts that you don't like, you just cut them out. I had cleaned these earlier, so make sure you clean your vegetables. Always clean your vegetables, even if they say they're pre-cleaned, clean them anyway. So, when you're cutting them, I want you to think about like bite-sized pieces. So what I do with these, if you notice I have my hand, you want to keep your fingers away. If you can see, if I cut, my fingers are always on the side of the knife. I'm never going to have my thumb out here, my fingers out here. And tuck your fingers away, all right? And when I'm thinking about bite-sized pieces, it's about a bite-sized piece. I'm just going to throw these right in here. I like to work with a knife all the time. I'm very comfortable with a knife. Some people aren't comfortable with a knife. But if you practice, you will get better. And people ask me, how do I get the same size all the time? What I like to do is sometimes when you flick those pieces off, I don't like to, because you can see that is the width of how I like to eat them. So what I use this as another guide. So if you see this here, I'll use this. You actually see where the sweet potato will actually give me a guide to continue consistent cutting slices. Because really you need to stay consistent. You have the same size, they cook evenly. That way you don't have a thicker piece that isn't as cooked as the others. You can just throw all these in here. And as you get better, you can get a little more brave. And this is all just practice. Eventually you're going to get comfortable where you can just saw right through these. I love sweet potatoes. It's one of my favorites. Especially when you can season them up real nice. And I even keep the seasoning very simple. Think of it, when you're cooking your food, again, even when you're seasoning, you don't want to over season your food. See, we got a little bowl here. I'm actually going to turn on a little medium low for when I'm cooking the spinach. And I'll explain why in a second. So, we have our little collection of sweet potatoes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add, I like using some flaxseed oil or some coconut oil. These are the two oils that I use for high heat cooking or just heated cooking. You really shouldn't be using other like olive oil for heated cooking. These are the best. The integrity of the oil stays better with high heat or medium heat. But it's a great thing to cook with, especially the flaxseed oil. Plus, the nutrition value in this is insane. High in ALA, vital vegan omega fatty acid. It's got a nice flavor to it. Yeah, it's just delicious. It's just, yeah. I mean, it's a great antioxidant. Especially when you're looking for like fish oils and stuff like this. I just prefer this over many other oils. But in this case, what I'm probably going to use is a little bit of organic olive or coconut oil, and have fun with it. Don't over oil it. Just you want to coat it a little bit. So remember this: when you're cooking, have fun. Don't worry about, like, for me, I don't get out a whole bunch of different measuring cups and stuff like this. With cooking, just have fun with it. So in this case, I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm just going to get a little bit of salt, little punch of salt. Not a lot, because we don't want a lot of salt in our diet, right? So I just do this for added flavor, right? You can also use lemon juice. A little bit of pepper. It doesn't have to be anything fancy either. Keep it simple. Salt, pepper, and cinnamon. Not even here. Black pepper. And this is the great one. I really put the cinnamon on there. So, what do you gotta do? We'll toss that around. See, and just have fun with it. Cooking should be fun. It shouldn't be a chore, it shouldn't be a hassle. Taking the smells. I love to use fresh herbs also, but in this breakfast, I usually do this breakfast. I usually will have sweet potatoes and spinach for breakfast when I start my day. So all we gotta do with this, dump it in my air fryer. All right. What I do here is I'll set it for 15 minutes or 10 minutes at 400, and I'll just leave it and just sit there. Don't have to do anything else except toss it every few minutes. I think it gets a nice even cook, okay? So, next thing is, I'm going to show you a little bit about cutting some garlic. Now, when I went to culinary school, My chef told me an easy way to get these wrappers off. Just take the side of your blade, pop it, and it just makes this easy to come off. Sometimes it's a real pain to get off, and it comes off nice and clean. We're going to use this for the spinach. You get that nice aromatic smell. Garlic. Oh, the garlic. That's what happens when you get raised in an Italian home. Garlic is in everything. So I always like to put garlic in everything. So again, this is about trusting yourself. If you want to start slow, right? Remember, I even like to think about just like pinch it. That's thinking about when you're cutting with a knife. Just keep your fingers almost pinched together, and that always, for me, will keep nice, safe. And then as you go, you can, right? And almost think you're slicing it. Through it. And then just bring this all together. Mince this up. Remember, we're just going to spinach. So in this case, we have two different kinds of things. They are very comfortable with a knife. You will too. It's just practice. That's why if you have fun, you just have nice control of the knife, and also some intruder comes in. So let's just put this in here. Get that ready. All right. So again, I like to use some coconut oil. I also have liquid coconut oil. So let's put a little bit. Oh, actually, you know what? I was going to use the flaxseed oil. Be a little heat coming on here. Think about a tablespoon. But again, for me, I've been cooking for a long time. I know what I want. So I think about probably about a tablespoon of flaxseed oil, or whichever oil you choose. If you don't have flaxseed oil, and if you don't have coconut oil, use what you have. Okay? This is just a regular household. So for me, because of my diet and my health, I have to utilize different kinds of oils and stuff like that. So, spinach was rinsed. Make sure, like I said, even when you get it from the store, if it says it's pre-rinsed, wash it anyway. So, it's funny because you look at all this spinach, you're like, oh my God, how is it going to eat all this stuff? Well, if anybody knows, this spinach is going to turn into that much spinach. Like I said, this is for my breakfast in the morning. It's just for me, and that's how much I use in the morning. Move this around here. We got a little heat. When you're cooking, if you start seeing a little bit of heat rise up, you kind of know what you're getting. You're ready to go. Spread it around a little bit. Let's give this a little toss. Some of those other pieces get a little bit. Okay. Let's put our garlic in here. That little sizzle going on. And that's when you know it's good to go. Get that little sizzle. Let's push this around. This is just an average amount of garlic. Some people like more garlic, some people like less garlic. It also depends on your diet of whether you can use garlic or not. Like I said, I like it nice and simple. That's ready to go. Toss in a little bit of this spinach here. I'll go ahead and move this around. Now, when I was a kid, I wish I thought about these kinds of meals, but usually when you have a restricted kind of a meal plan, you can only cook what you can cook. So hopefully you can find the right things, and we have this process of Jamie's Kitchen. We're going to cook all kinds of different things. So anybody has any suggestions of some simple foods that we can make healthy, just let me know and we'll cook them. The thing that I love about eating clean is that when you have an unhealthy diet and you switch to a healthy diet, your body's going to tell you. And when you start focusing on eating clean or eating green, it just feels better, you know? That expression, you are what you eat, it's true. Especially after you go the right way. And then you'll notice when you start eating unhealthy foods, your body will tell you. So for me, now it's just, you're eating for life, and then let's have a little pleasure, it's fine to have a little pleasure when you're eating. I have this on medium low. You can also cook this at a lower heat. Obviously you don't want to cook this too fast and burn anything, make it too wilted, but you can see how the spinach is now turning into. Let's look at our sweet potatoes. I actually cooked a little bit too much. Usually I'll only cook one sweet potato, but in this case, my son, the director behind the camera, and I will be enjoying some of this. Now with this, if you're a meat eater, you just, whatever kind of meat you want to go with this. Sometimes what I do is I'll eat some turkey bacon, or I'll eat some turkey scrapple. Depends, I'll have meat a couple times a week, but I don't make it a regular part of my diet. I was a vegan for 6 years, vegetarian for 6 years before that. I've had all kinds of ways that I've eaten. I just like to spread it around nice and even. Again, if you want to add a little salt, I'll just put a little bit. And like I said, just a couple little sprinkles. Then I'll add a little pepper. Oh, that's nice green goodness. It's just health going right into your body. Yeah, maybe a lot of people don't like spinach, but I've always loved Popeye, and I want to be strong like Popeye. Get this off the heat. Do is I'll add some of these delicious sweet potatoes. Clean up after yourself when you're doing this. What I like to do is do it as I go. A lot of times, thank you for showing all of the stuff in the sink. Keeping this sinking out of the way. You notice I had this paper towel. Usually, if you have a cutting board, a plastic cutting board like that, it'll slide over the place. So, something my chef showed me before. You just rinse off this little paper towel, put it underneath here, and you'll see it doesn't go anywhere. So, little trick. we have some sweet potatoes. What do you think about that? So I'm gonna attempt to eat some of this goodness. Spinach. There's some good stuff. Like I said, very simple, delicious, nutritious. Anybody can make it. Very simple. And like I said, if you have any other questions, comments, you can find me on theculturalarts.org, the Cultural Arts Training Foundation. Lance Parvin, Aria Moses. Also, I'm Jamie, the FMA Chef, and I hope you enjoyed today. I'll see you next time. Thank you.